right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Jarvis Sam Show. I am your host, Jarvis Sam. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are getting this podcast from. And before we begin, I need you to stop what you're doing and go smash that subscribe button wherever you're getting this podcast from so that you can get notifications each and every time I am having a new episode drop. Also, go check me out on Instagram. That's Jarvis Sam _ on Instagram. You can also check me out on the show's Instagram page at the Jarvis Sam Show, also on Instagram. I have a website, www.jarvissam.com. Also, the Patreon is out. So check out my Patreon. The Patreon link will be in the description box in my link tree. So check that out. I have bonus content and a special podcast that I do exclusively for Patreons and for Apple Premium subscribers. So check that out. This is anniversary week for me. This makes 1 year of podcasting for me. I made it. I'll be honest, when I started, I did not know what the journey was going to look like. I had no idea. I just wanted to get on here and drop some thoughts. And a year later, we're still here. We're still moving. We're still cooking. We're growing. It's exciting stuff. So thank you, those who have been on this journey since the beginning. So I appreciate you. Do have some special stuff that is coming out. So check out the Patreon. Check out the Apple Premium pod when that launches in the next few weeks. But as you're listening to this, the Patreon is up. So check out the Patreon and go support the Patreon. The Patreon is how I want to be able to continue to grow and continue to make better and better content and just keep this thing going. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to talk about the BET Awards today. We're going to talk about the BET Awards. You know, for me, the BET Awards used to be, it was my thing. I literally waited all year for that award show because it was so powerful. You had the best entertainers in the industry. I'm not even going to say in our community, in the industry, represented on that stage each and every year. They were super entertaining. It was Black excellence. It was everything you would want an award show to be. You know that you look at the Grammys and the Oscars and whatnot, man, those award shows, they don't always recognize our artists and our entertainers in the way that they should be recognized. They have been known to snub some of our artists that really did really great things throughout the year, and they give it to who they want to. So the BET Awards is kind of like our platform to be able to recognize our artists in the way that we want to recognize our artists and our entertainers, and deservedly so. So for me, man, the BET Awards were everything. I watched them from the very first award show that they did. My favorite one was the 2003 BET Awards. It was just, there was not a single hiccup in the show. It was from the minute the thing started until it ended, it was absolute fire. It jumped off with like 50 Cent and G Unit performing. Oh my God, it was just unbelievable. You had Beyonce and Jay-Z perform. You had B2K, you had R. Kelly with Chocolate Factory and stuff when he was hot. You had James Brown come out and Michael Jackson give like a tribute to James Brown. Like, how iconic is that? And just moments that just Ashanti was there. It was just from the minute you turned it on, man. It was just an incredible show. So much talent on display. Every performance was great. It was incredible. Um, and then, I just remember, the Cater to You performance from, I think it was '05, when they brought Magic Johnson, Nelly, and Terrence Howard on stage. And Terrence Howard didn't really know how to act when Beyonce was out there with him. And man, you had the moment where Rick James was performing with Tina Marie, and also in the night he was up there, and he said, "I'm Rick James, bitch," and all that. And man, just so many classic moments. And it was, again, it was what you look forward to as a Black person that's into entertainment and music, because it was our night. It was our night. You know, the MTV Music Awards are cool. The Grammys are cool. All this other stuff that's going on is cool. If we get one, we get one. But like, this is the night where we can get vindication, man. And it used to just be so much. And throughout the past few years, they have not been what they used to be. The biggest artists in the industry don't seem to show up to them as much. Um, Last year we had the COVID situation, so they were having kind of these music video type performances. And I remember me and Chris from the Inspired by Christopher podcast were talking about, like, if I was one of those artists, man, I would have somehow got a music video off of those performances, and that would have been the music video, because it was pretty much like a cinematic type performance. And I'm a huge music fan, and I totally understand that music has transformed and it's evolving, it's continued to evolve. And I like some of the new artists, and everything. So it's not that I'm stuck on you know 2003, 2004 era. I'm definitely not. I mean, I'm partial to that music, but just like parents from our generation, they're stuck from on '70s music, right? Like, that's like our '70s music, and um, but I can also appreciate the evolution of music and of hip hop and whatnot. And this I'm not here to um crap on the BET Awards this year. There were some highlights that I thought were really good this year. I think this is the best show that they've had in quite some time, but I do have some criticisms for some of the things that happened throughout the evening, and whatnot. But I also have some good things to say. So it's going to be, I feel like my opinion is very objective, and you know, I I've seen a lot of criticisms of the awards. My guy Tariq Nasheed called them the EBT Awards, which some of it is very EBT-ish. But when I popped it on, I loved how they opened up with Kirk Franklin and Lil Baby. I like that song, the song from Space Jam. I think it's a really good song. It's an interesting collaboration, to say the very least. Never thought you'd see Kirk Franklin and Lil Baby on the same stage. But I actually like Lil Baby. Lil Baby has the song "The Bigger Picture," which I really appreciate as well. So shout out to Lil Baby and Kirk Franklin. I thought they did a great job opening up. I appreciated the fact that Taraji P. Henson was the host. I think she's entertaining. I think she's a total package entertainer. So shout out to Taraja. I thought hers performance was pretty good. The DMX tribute, of course, was phenomenal. You had the performance by Silk Sonic, which was good. Of course, the Queen Latifah tribute, Jasmine Sullivan's performance was good. So there was some good in there. There was definitely some good in there. Um, I, it's about 50-50. Now, one thing that I didn't like was one of the first awards that was given through the night was Best Group, and Silk Sonic won. Silk, for those of you that don't know, Silk Sonic is a group. There's Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Talented guys, love both of them to death. Like, they're phenomenal, absolutely talented artists. But they won Best Group off the strength of one song. They only have one song, and that song is fire. Don't get it twisted. That uh, Leave the Door Open is an amazing, amazing record. It's one of the best songs on the radio right now, and has been for many, many weeks. But it's only one song. And you had, Chloe and Holly in the category. You had Chris Brown and Young Thug in the category, who had a fire song as well. Um, I think that the Chris Brown and Young Thug Go Crazy song is one of the best songs that came out in 2020. Um, you had the City Girls, you had a couple more Migos in the category, and everybody else has an album. The Chloe and Halle album is good. Like, why did Chloe and Halle not win that? I actually thought they were going to give it to Migos because Migos had just performed Straightening, which whole another conversation for another day. um, and again, I'm not a Migos like detractor. Like I actually think Quavo is really good. Offset's okay. That other cat take off, like he's the Michelle Williams of the group, but um, you know, eh, like at the same time, like they ain't talking about nothing. Like straightening, straightening, straightening. Ain't nothing been straight. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? And but so those were the highlights for me. But Silk Sonic winning off of one song I thought was crazy. And then you had Bruno Mars coming out there, and he's like one of the few men that was dressed, nice and looked like he's at an award show. And then you got all of our guys out there, looking crazy with, you know, all the crazy stuff that they're wearing. Oh, I also like the Tyler the Creator performance as well. He has a good album that's out right now. And so yeah, um, Megan Thee Stallion won several awards throughout the night. I think it's well deserved. I do think she's very talented. I think she's a great. I think she can rap, like she can spit her behind off. My criticism of her is that the message that she is putting out, and how influential she can be. Her and Cardi B, they can be both very influential to this generation. And when you look at the new song that Megan has put out, it's called Thought Shit. And I just, to me, it just immediately sends the wrong message, right? It's like making it cool to be, the thought culture is like cool now. Like when I was growing up, man, like the last thing a female wanted was somebody to identify her as a hoe or whatever. And now there's songs that are glorifying the thought lifestyle. And that's crazy. That's like so freaking crazy to me. And so I don't like what that's doing to our society. And you talk about how social media has had such a huge impact on just the way we move about everyday life, and the way that it's so impressionable on everybody. And so at your fingertips, you can upload your TikTok or your Snapchat or whatever, you dancing to that shit. And I don't know, I don't have a daughter, but I can only imagine, like having, I can only imagine if I had a daughter and I saw that she was listening to that, like it would totally mess me up in the head. Like, whoa, like, do you know what that's saying and whatnot? I do have two nieces, and I have one niece that's definitely of age to where I'm sure that song has crossed her radar. And you just gotta pray that she is strong-willed enough to know that, like, that's not a conducive to a good lifestyle for a young lady. And at the same time, I think we have to be honest with where we are at, where we were, when we were growing up. When I was growing up, I'm listening to Biggie and Pac and Bone Thugs and Harmony, and they're shoot 'em up, bang bang, and all that. And I mean, it didn't influence me to go get a gun and start gang banging. It just it made for great music, and at the time period. So, we can't just, look at one side of the coin and say that, like our music was innocent. Our music wasn't innocent when we were growing up, but um, it definitely wasn't what's going on right now. And I think because we are in this, Black female empowerment era, which is beautiful. And that was another great takeaway from the BET Awards is its emphasis on the Black woman and of women. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was powerful to celebrate the queens, to celebrate everything that embodies that is the embodiment of the Black woman. I thought it was so powerful. So that was a great takeaway from the BET Awards as well. Um, but again, just back to thought shit. And then, like when you look at the song that they released, her and Cardi released earlier, WAP, which won an award, I believe. It again, what message is it sending? And again, I understand that we are in the female empowerment era, and I get that. Well, men talk about their men parts, in records all the time, and whatnot. So it's kind of like that's the movement for the female. But I think at the same time, just because um, men are doing something doesn't mean that you have to flip it and make it. Why can't we keep that sacred? Why can't a lady keep her lady parts sacred? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not a female, so it's difficult for me to speak on that, and I won't. But um, I'm just speaking as a person that, you know, how I would think if I had a daughter, and my daughter listening to that song, and you know and what it means, and you know I feel like singing that song is inviting a man to your private part, you know what I mean? And especially if you're singing and dancing to it on social media, and it just sends the wrong message. It sends the message that, oh, she got a WAP, so yeah, let's, what's up? Let me slide in your DMs and see what's up, see if I can see if it's really a WAP or not. You know what I'm saying? And it sends the wrong message. So I just wish that, and I don't expect Megan to overnight turn into Nas or J. Cole or anything, but um, can we, you know, can we influence the ladies in a different way, the young ladies in a different way um, out here? Because it's enough bad stuff going on out here. It's enough that we face as Black people, and we don't need to create our own problems in our community. Continue to create our own problems in our community. We have to overcome enough, and so that's my criticism of Megan. Um, so I released a video on social media over I believe it was yesterday, and I was talking about the Lil Nas X performance on the BET Awards. And um, so Lil Nas X is, I guess he's a rapper. I don't know. I don't really consider him all that talented. Um, but he's been in the news recently. He released this version of some Nike shoes that had like blood on them or whatever. And then he had this music video where he was twerking on the devil and just really being forward with his sexuality. And so at the BET Awards, he um, had a performance, and he did like the whole Egyptian thing. It kind of was reminiscent of Michael Jackson's Remember the Time video. And it was nothing but what appeared to be homosexual men dancing and everything. And had it just been that, it would have been fine. I think you can empower that movement in a subtle way and with class. But toward the end of the video, or toward the end of the performance, he um, goes up to the top of the pyramid and starts kissing another man in the mouth, tongue on tongue. And so the video I released, I was saying that, when I was growing up, the worst thing you'd see on BET was BET Uncut. And BET Uncut came on at 2 in the morning. And it was, you know, BET Uncut, if you don't know what that is, BET Uncut was a video show that showed the explicit versions of videos, and it was really popular at the time for a rapper to have this one record on his album that was kind of a booty shaking or pimp kind of style video where he's going to have some women in there that are naked and doing things of a sexual nature throughout most of the video. Most popular ones were like Nelly Tip Drill, P Poppin' by Ludacris. Chingy had a Right There. I think it was a remix that was kind of crazy. 50 Cent had a Disco Inferno one. So it was it was the thing. It was something you'd watch. But again, it was on at 2 in the morning. And one thing I remember about that era, because the video that got the most criticism was Nelly Tip Drill, because Nelly had the part in the video where he's swiping the debit card across the girl's butt cheeks. And so it got a lot of, because he was kind of like, he was the man, like he was the biggest artist at the time that had those videos. And he got a lot of criticism for Tip Drill. And I remember in an interview, Nelly was talking about that video. And he said that it all goes to parenting. Like, he's like, my video doesn't come on until 2 in the morning. And he was like, that video does not come on until 2 in the morning. My daughter has never seen this video. She doesn't know that this video exists because I know what my daughter is watching. And I remember I was actually recording the Father Day episode, the Father Figure episode, which is another episode you got to check out. It's called Father Figure. I was recording with my guy, Christopher Robinson from the Inspired by Christopher podcast. He has a daughter. During the time of the Father Figure recording, his daughter was actually in the room with him. And one of the things he said was she had the tablet in her hand. She has probably I guess a Amazon Fire or whatever tablet. And, she's looking at videos or whatever. He told me that every so often he double checks to see what she's watching because he wants to make sure that something doesn't go across her screen that she shouldn't be watching. And so it goes back to what Nelly was saying about that. But this Lil Nas X performance was on a Sunday night, about 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, 8:30 on a Sunday night. Like that's prime time. Kids are still up. It's the summertime. And I just think that is, something that, shouldn't have been there. I mean, that was one of the reasons I stopped watching Empire. I stopped watching Empire because, and it has nothing to do with, and so anyway, when I made I'll get back to my point here in a second, but the whole point of the video was talking about the images that are on for our kids now that they can see it. And we have to be so cognizant of what they could be watching because this stuff can be impressionable for them. Like if you have a kid that's watching this and it's their first time seeing this and you haven't had a chance to explain what that could possibly be to your child before they see it, a lot of questions could arise and a lot of things can arise from that. And it can also be perceived as cool, like it's the cool thing to do. Again, I'm not. So on that post, I got the homophobic crap, spewed at me or whatever. And it doesn't shake me. It looked like it was a troll account anyway. But then there were also some people kind of saying, well, what about what about, overtly racist, straight heterosexual imagery and whatnot. And that's where we go back to the Megan Thee Stallion with the WAP and all that. Like, yes, it's over sexualizing our culture. WAP is over sexualizing our culture. Thought shit is over sexualizing our culture. Um, just as much as this little Nas X thing is putting that imagery out there. And so again, I was homophobic and all this, and you know, I I'm not one. I don't feel that I have to, like, anybody that knows me knows my heart, knows what I am, and knows what I stand for. Um, it's when you post a lot of videos, and the main source you post videos is Instagram, and Instagram limits you to 60 seconds. It's only so much you can say in 60 seconds. So, it's really easy for people to take things out of context and only hear a little piece of it. And it's only so much I can explain in 60 seconds, right? So it was just to address the little Nas X thing and whatnot. Um, the funny thing is when little Nas X first came out and said that he was gay when he had the Old Town Road joint or whatever, man, I was like, man, that he's doing this thing. Like, I wish him success, right? I think it's admirable when artists come out and or people come out, because at the end of the day, like, I don't think you can truly live your full life if you're keeping what you truly do in the closet, like, or who you truly are in the closet. Like, and it's a disservice to you. Um, so I think anybody that is that should come out and live. Like, it's to me, to me, it has to be, like, putting yourself in that box and trying to be somebody that you're not, just to portray a certain image. I think is crazy. Like, if you're gay, you're gay. Like, do your thing, come out, and people should respect however you are. So I know how much courage it probably took somebody who's presenting themselves kind of as a rapper out here to come out as homosexual or whatever. Um, but again, I don't have any issues with anybody's sexuality or anything. But my whole point was, back in the day, it was hard to find um, heterosexual sexual activity on television, and now right here at 8 o'clock and on a Sunday afternoon, you can see two men kissing on BET. And it's just, I know everybody's going to have their opinion about it. It's just my opinion. I don't think it's cool. I saw that someone had posted that two men kissing is not explicit. It is not, inappropriate, and this, that, and the third. I I'm sorry, I think it is. Um, I When I was growing up, my mom lived up we when I lived with my mom, and I was probably, I don't know, young kid, probably 11, maybe younger than that. I don't remember how old I was when we lived there, but we lived on the street, and most of our neighbors that surrounded us were homosexual couples. It was We had two neighbors directly across from us. Each house had a homosexual couple. Um, and then there was a neighbor to the left of us was another homosexual couple. And it was kind of new to me, like this. I didn't quite get it at first. But my mom explained, kind of what the circumstance was and and everything. And I didn't, it didn't have any impact on me. It didn't have any, just like, okay. And my mom taught me to respect them, and to do to like, they're still just people. Like, they're people, and they need to live, and they need to be respected, and everything. And my impression of them was actually pretty cool, because, like, they were always very nice to my mom. My mom was a single mom, so I think they saw that and they saw what she was trying to do. And I can recall one time, one of the gentlemen, he mowed my mom's lawn because I guess we hadn't had a time to mow it, or I think the lawnmower went out or something. It was something that happened, and they just did it, and they took care of it, and just always welcoming, always, they never did anything inappropriate in my presence. Um, so it was different for me, but again, it was a very fond. Uh, I don't say a fond memory, but it was, I didn't have a bad perception of homosexuality or anything. So if anything, they embraced us. So I feel long as it's and but again, they knew to keep whatever they were doing. They never, like I said, they never did anything in front of me. They never held hands. They never hugged or anything in front of me. They just, kind of, interacted like normal and acted like normal men. And it was what it was. And so that was really my first recollection of homosexuality. And even now, I mean, I have friends and family members that are in the LGBT community, and I love them to death, and whatnot. So I it has nothing to do with being uh, homophobic. Homophobia is something that's really bad. That is, wishing malice and ill will against homosexuals, and that couldn't be further from the truth. I just, want to be able to raise my child in a way that gives him a chance to make decisions in life that aren't so tied to this impressionable content that is out there. And then, the other thing is like just what it does to our community. You know, it's the images that the white man wants us to have of ourselves, right? It's the other day, like you have Kodak Black throwing freaking money into the ocean. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? $100,000. Like, why would you do that? And those are the type of people that the oppressor loves to give money to, because him throwing money into the ocean is literally what they want black people to do. They want black people to just throw their money away. It's really symbolic of us throwing money away. As symbolic of us going to the club, buying a $40 bottle of Hennessy for $300 to show off. That's throwing our money away, right? And then you got the homosexuality, right? It's they love to put the imagery of a black man that's not a threat because he's not going to be able to procreate. So, it's crazy. Then you got the thugs who are going to end up in jail because they're gang banging and selling drugs. So as long as they can keep those images in rotation, the longer they can keep us from advancing in society. And that's just what it is. And I think back to the Lil Nas X thing. It's very reminiscent of several years ago when Madonna kissed whatever homegirl's name was during I think it was the MTV Music Awards several years ago. So then you got that happened. So then you got the Empire situation. You got men kissing. Then you got Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B performing WAP and basically rubbing their lady parts together. And now you got Lil Nas X kissing somebody on stage, very reminiscent of the Madonna joint. The only logical step to go from here is to have two men rub dingalings on stage. I'm not here for it. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not homophobic. I'm not, against gay people or anything like that. But I believe that we have to somehow put a stop to it, and there has to be limits to what we do, because everybody's just going to keep pushing the envelope until until it's nothing else, until nothing is sacred, till nothing is um, there's just no barriers. And I think it's sad. It's sad that this is, going on. Um, the thing to and here's the thing about Lil Nas X. Would he really be out there if he was not doing this? Because what what song does he have that's on the charts? Like, of all the artists that were on that stage, you had her, you had Jasmine Sullivan, you had the baby, you had Little Baby, you had Kirk Franklin, you had Queen Latifah, you had Lil Kim, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Migos, Moneybag Yo, um, you had Method Man. Like, you had these big superstars or guys that are like that have hits in rotation right now, and then you got Lil Nas X. Oh, like, how does he fit into this equation? Like, name me, besides Old Town Road, name me a hit record that Lil Nas X has. You can't. You can't. Tell me where he's talented. Is he a lyricist? Is he a singer? Is he a vocalist? Tell me where the guy's talented. Tell me what stadium or arena he's filled up. You can't, because it hasn't happened. Everybody else falls under at least one of those categories, if not multiple. So why is he out there? Tell me why Lil Nas X is out there. Because it's the white man wanting to make sure that we can use him as a puppet to keep this dog and pony show going. So we can put this image of Black people out that we want to put out. So stay with that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just my opinion. Some people are going to agree. Some people are going to disagree. Some people are going to say, after everything I've said, some people are still going to say I'm homophobic, whatever. I know my heart. I'm putting my opinion out there. When you put your opinion out there, it could get criticized. It is what it is. I just hope that you can take what I'm saying and really think about it, because really and truly, it's getting worse. It's getting worse and worse. And I feel like if you are a parent, I feel like you should empathize with this. If you're not, I kind of understand. I kind of get it. You're still, out there, and you may not get it, but as a parent, man, it's very concerning. And some people will say, well, your child can you can protect your child all their life, and they still turn out, if that's the case, they turn out gay or whatever. Hey, that's fine. Like, you know, but why do we need to push these images out there to, like, sway the opinion and to sway and to encourage the behavior, right? Like, if that's the case, like, let's give them a fair chance at life to do things the way they see fit to do things, and not have something, an image shoved in their face, and whatnot. But again, just my opinion. I'm not, I'm not an expert on any of this. It's just, my quick takes on everything I saw Sunday night. And it is what it is. I also made a comment it's toxic to the culture, and I think that got taken out of context as well. Did not mean that homosexuality is toxic. I meant that the cycle of the images that are continuously portrayed in the Black community, that's pushed out here by white owned businesses, and BET is a white owned business. it's pushing their narrative and their agenda of what the black man should be, what the black woman should be. The black woman should be a thought. The black man should be a thug or gay. That is toxic. That's very toxic to our culture. If you don't understand how it's toxic to our culture, I don't know what else to tell you. But when you take away the ability for our culture to appropriate, like, where are we going to be? Like, where are we going to be? Um, so it's not homosexuality is not toxic. Love is love. You love who you love. I get it. It's cool. But that is the toxic cycle. And that's what I was referring to. So anybody that took that out of context, if you gave me a shot and actually listened to the entire podcast, hopefully you have a little more perspective. You probably don't, because you probably just want to uh, find a way to spin it into something negative, to disagree, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree as well. But again, just my quick takes on this year's BET Awards. Um, if you have not had a chance to watch them, I'm sure the BET will show them a million more times. They typically do. So you'll have an opportunity to see it and make your own opinions. Um, but anyway, thanks for listening this week. Like I said, check out my Patreon. The link is in the description box. Check it out. It is an all new podcast under the Jarvis Sam Show umbrella, and it's real informative. It's really my take on um, career development, entrepreneurship. Um, it's just bossing up in life. It's all about bossing up in life. So um, if you appreciate this content, you'll really enjoy that, because it's again it's more on the informative, educational side, and a lot less on the entertainment side. But check it out. Check out the Patreon. Again, link is in my description box wherever you're getting this. Again, follow me at JarvisSam _ on Instagram. And I will catch y'all next week. Y'all take care.